There is no evil. There is no power. And by the way, those two things are so synonymous in mass consciousness, evil and power. And you're afraid of it. You're afraid, what if I really open up? What if I really just let myself be? Oh my God, the power and the potential for darkness. There is none. It's the biggest lie that's ever been sold to humans. And it continues to be sold again and again. Redemption, salvation, whatever it happens to be, it's all a lie. Power, darkness, Satan, all of those things are just lies. What's Satan's greatest accomplishment? Convincing people that he exists. And he doesn't, unless you believe in him. Same with power. What's the biggest fallacy of power? There is no power. You don't need it. So now, Satan, evil, darkness's biggest accomplishment was getting people to believe that it existed. It doesn't. It does not. If everybody on this planet let go of that, walk beyond it, this planet would be totally different. But they're not going to. They're invested in darkness. They truly are. The biggest offender of all are religions. They're invested in darkness. They promote it. They use it in their marketing. They don't talk about freedom. They don't talk about grace in your life. They don't talk about the beauty of your soul. The master realizes that they've never done anything bad because there isn't bad. The master realizes they're not trying to overcome anything because there's nothing to overcome. Life is just an experience. A beautiful, sensual, passionate, and expressive experience. And while others may choose to live in the shadow of darkness in their lives, while others may choose to judge themselves, assess themselves, and consider part of themselves to be bad or dark, we're going to go beyond that. Who is Satan? Humans who didn't allow themselves to be the I am. Humans that initially used the concept of Satan and darkness to control others. Humans who couldn't love themselves. That's Satan. Humans who couldn't believe that they were divine, that they actually can't do anything wrong until they started to believe in wrong. You've already walked beyond it, even though it's going to twist your brain, your thoughts, get you down on the ground, get you screaming in mental anguish. You've already walked beyond it. You've already walked beyond the lie of darkness and of power and of anything that you think you've ever done. You've already walked beyond it. You'll discover what living the powerless life is really about, the freedom. Freedom is when you allow that you've never done anything wrong, period. It's hard, very hard to simply go beyond all the old programming of hell and everything else, it's very hard. The programming of evil, and the world's going to try to show you, no, evil is real. Look what's happening every day. It's not your reality, it's their reality. I'm not talking about eradicating the concept of evil on this whole planet. I'm talking about you, your personal life. That's it. Is evil still out there? Yeah, because they believe in it. They're addicted to it. That and power, they're addicted to it. Can you coexist with it? Sometimes, yes. Not all the time. You'll have to get away. Bring too much pain to your heart to see how they continue to live in the lie. They continue to believe in evil, Satan, darkness, when they don't need to. Does an ascended master cry from time to time? Absolutely. Because it hurts to see how people keep suffering when they don't have to, but they won't listen. They won't do something as easy as walking on past dark, evil, bad, power. And then there's nothing we can do. So today, we walk on out of the lie, straight out of the lie. No more. No negotiating. No reducing by 10%, by 15%. None. Out of the lie. What you are seeing is the end of power as it was known on earth, and thank God it is. This end of power is scaring the bejesus out of those who have been feeding on it for ages and ages of time. They are seeing their empires crumble. They are seeing their fortunes lost. They're seeing everything they thought they were collapse in front of them. And the world is changing. It has been an incredible few weeks in the history of Earth. A history that will not be forgotten for a long, long time. And it's what has been done over the past 10 years of time by conscious humans around the world that are coming into play right now. You've had it happen within yourself, so you should know exactly what that's about. 10 years of losing your power, even though you tried desperately to hang on to it. If you take a look back at your history in this lifetime, so much of it is about losing your power. That includes the power centers in your body. You lost the old power centers, the one of the old sexual energy. That was a major power center. You spent this lifetime learning what it was like to let go of the sexual power within you. Some of you have used it for great manipulation. Some of you have used it to build great barriers around you. Some of you have used it for just pure energy feeding. A few of you had power centers of money. You learned those over lifetime after lifetime. And you had to learn that the power is an illusion. You had to learn to let go of that power. And it was difficult. And I almost wept a few tears for some of you when you were losing everything material. It was who you thought you were. It was your strength. It was your weapon. And you had to lose it. And then when you tried to regain it again, you had to lose it another time. Thank God for that. One that many of you still struggle with today, but we'll get through it, is the power center in your mind. You lost the sexual power, the financial power, so you put everything right up here. At least I still have my sense. My mind, at least I can still be rational. And that is going too. You placed all of your power, your value for yourself, everything that you think you can create and think you can be right here. And when it is gone, you will open up yourself to an inner and outer universe of who you really are. When that illusion of this last remnant of power is gone, you'll understand the mind was a limitation. There is so much more to you. Some of you have used religion and spirituality as your power center, and combined with the mind, that is a very dangerous cocktail. Power is the poison. And you're going to see it again and again when you read the headlines and you see what's happening in the world. The very power that people have held on to in the past, starting with the largest and most powerful institutions, is going to be their poison. The more they hold on to it, the more poisonous it will become. The more they try to believe in it, the more venomous it will be. The more they try to use it against another, the more it will strangle them. It will choke them. It will take the life out of them. It's poison to those who are in government positions, who have had their little games, who have had their little empires, who have thought more about themselves and about their little group that supports them. The ones who have been holding the financial power, you're going to see them desperately trying to get it, trying to take it back, trying to manipulate it. You're going to find it continuing to happen in the churches. Thank God for that. For they have held power of government, power of money, power of sexual energy, and power of spirit and consciousness. And when they drink in their power, it's going to explode their bowels. It's going to destroy from the very inside what they have been abusing for so very long. There's going to be stories that come out about those who have held the religious power and the trust and the faith of the people and what they're really like. The demons that they really are. You're going to see it in even things like universities and schools, in the police departments, in the militaries, because what used to be the very thing that sustained them is now going to be the thing that collapses them. This isn't because people have been evil. Humans are good. Humans have hearts. Humans are filled with love and hope. But a few have tried to take it away, and it won't work anymore. A few are trying to hold back a transition into a new consciousness where power is not needed or wanted. They're trying to hold on, and it will be their undoing. Now, let's join together in a vision for humanity. And before we do, I want to make a few rude comments. There are groups of people, individuals all around the world, who try to have these visions for humanity, as they call it. But what there really are is very hard and fast desires. They're taking their will, they're taking even their limitations and placing it on other humans. They sit in prayer groups. They chant in meditation groups. They are inflicting their will onto other people. We're not going to do that, because that, dear friends, was a power game. Because it was inflicting their beliefs, their desires, their insecurities, and even their wishes on others. What we're doing as new energy visionaries is creating a potential. We're not inflicting it on anybody. We're not pushing it on anybody. What we're doing is sending out a feeling, a consciousness as a potential for other humans to embrace if they choose it. The ones who are losing their power right now and will be left with little or nothing may walk into this potential, may walk into this new powerless way. People don't question power. They also associate power with energy, even though energy needs no power whatsoever. I realize here that I'm using human words, and for some that are non-English speakers, it's a little confusing, but energy is what is all around you. Energy is in a neutral state. Pure energy is in a neutral state. It's dormant. Therefore, it is undetectable by your current scientific instruments and measurement systems. But the moment consciousness is activated, consciousness seeks a direction or a specific sensual experience, that energy is everywhere around you, suddenly is activated into what you would call positive or negative particles. It comes in on this thing you call light, but not light from light bulbs or the sun, but light beams. And it literally attracts these negative and positive particles into your reality, and therefore manifests reality. In none of this is not just Adamus physics, but this is physics of creation. In none of this is there the element of power, nor is it needed. But with the advent of the sexual energy virus coming into Earth, eventually coming into the physical body and mind, it helped to create the illusion of power. It doesn't exist. It's unreal. Just like, in a way, time doesn't really exist. But it helped create this illusion of power, and now this is one of the prime motivating forces in people's lives. Of course, people try to survive, and then shortly after that is with power. Imagining a powerless life creates a bit of a vacuum, a void. So when I asked you to feel into it last night, it probably felt odd. It felt without a dynamic that you become familiar with. But then many of you may have experienced that suddenly when you allowed yourself to let go of power, suddenly an interesting, very interesting thing happened. Suddenly, and maybe you don't know how to define it, so I'll attempt to do that. Suddenly you felt this vacuum was pulling you into yourself, just like bringing you here. Very interesting. This is bringing you to the now moment. When you release the notion of power, having to have power in order to have energy, which you don't need power. When you release that notion, it suddenly brings you very, very present, without efforting, without having to think your way into it. Let's do that here for a moment, since most of you didn't do your homework last night. Let's take a good deep breath and just feel into the experience. without power. Why? You don't need it. Others can have it. And if they have power, they're playing power games. An interesting thing also happens is they don't see you. They do not see you. If you're not using power as a dynamic in your life, the sexual energy virus isn't terribly interested in you. Therefore, they don't see you. They're going to be going after others who have power, who play the power game. They're attracted to power, not to the powerless. They don't see you. They're, in a sense, playing a game of tennis or basketball all by themselves because there's nobody else to play with. They're not interested in you. That's the relief here. They're just not interested. You want to go invisible? Leave power behind. It's a difference between getting up in the morning, feeling hungry, having to go outside and hunt an animal for your food, and then skin it, and cook it, and then finally eat it. That's kind of what it's been like, and it's what it's like for most people, having to chase after everything. The difference here is, in the powerless life, you get up in the morning and you feel that really wonderful sense of being a little hungry. You know, it's very sensual. Oh, feed the body. It feels so good. You go and open the front door, and the meal is already there, sitting there, cooked, ready to go. Whatever it is you want. And the human mind is going to try to jump right away and say, well, how did this get here? And is there anything suspicious about it? Is this some sort of trick? And you're going to say, human, shut up. Eat. You've attracted this. It's come to you. That's the powerless life. Years and years ago, I think it was Adamus, or Tobias, I'm Adamus. Tobias, that said, it comes to you. It comes to you, and it does. Going beyond power, it just comes to you. It's a very, very different reality, and you can't try to control it or manage it. The powerless life means the realization that everything is there and going to be there. You're going to have a part of your humanness that is screaming out, saying, but you don't understand. What if? I've tried this before and it didn't work. My friends, it's kind of a now or never. It's kind of trust or go back. So we enter this era, this dimension, this consciousness of the powerless life. Don't do anything right now, please. If you're wondering, well, what do I have to do? How hard do I have to work at this? Don't. You're already there. Do you understand that? You're already there. This isn't magic. This is just consciousness. There's no effort in it. There's no trying to figure it out. There's no analysis. There's not even focusing. You're already there. And that's the amazing thing. It was done without power. Now, the only thing the human needs to do is allow it. That's it. So take a deep breath. You are now in the powerless life.